Talking to Cornelius. Conversation 29. The first 3 children came with little more than 2 years between their arrivals. Do you remember what that slab hut was like, old man, when it was full of infants in 1860? There was Bridget, trying to get newborn Tom to sleep, while 4-year-old Jack and his 2-year-old sister Honora were ready to launch through any open door without a moment's hesitation. The place would have been full of infant drama, clattering noise as small hands grabbed at things they shouldn't, the pungent smell of a loaded nappy, the grizzle triggered by a belly full of wind, the sounds and rhythms of the old songs, fit for jigging a child to sleep, and the Shornos songs in the old language, sounding out memories of a faraway family who knew close to nothing of the frontier world you inhabited. How much did you relish the quiet when you walked out the door in the morning, old man, and followed the tram line into the tall timber? That world would have been one of strongly gendered spaces. The male world of timber felling and sawmills, things that could be said in the bush but not in the home. The grunt and curse in battle with the lecherous claim of shin-deep mud and stubborn bullocks and rainfall driven with a horizontal fury. The competitive camaraderie of crews, all vigour and sweat and thick calluses, sleeves rolled up, axes at the ready, mouthing off with those accents from other worlds. The Cockney Brits, the sing-song Southern Irish, and you, old man, all full of Belfast gravel and dark humour, all looking to claim a tree with a trunk width taller than a man, all ready to break the timber cathedral silence through the rhythmic swing of the blades. Strike after strike, splinters and the purity of the wood, the heaven-bound height of the thing made to tremble and groan. A final blow, the claim of gravity and the uprush of air and bark as the giant falls and the earth rolls like water underfoot. And down below the hills, the female world of the home front, women watching out for each other through the convulsive trauma of childbirth with not a doctor in sight, and the thick blanket of sadness that sometimes came after birthing and had no name, and the grieving for infants no sooner born than dead, and the business of keeping the living ones alive with the fear of death in every fever, and witnessing the damage done to other women who had the misfortune of sharing a home with a bad man with violence in his blood, and feeling the knot of the injustices and uncertainties hard in the belly, all channeled into the rhythm of beads passing through fingers, whispered prayers, a litany of saints, and watching for grace to come. Every day in the bush and on the home front was a battle to make a life that was something more than primitive survival, a home made solid against the memory of famine, a town taking shape to refute the contempt ladled out by unsullied city people, those old-time leaguers, the once a convict, always a convict crowd. How much of your past did you keep to yourself, old man, for the sake of a peaceful home? How often did you channel a surge of dark memory through the swing of an axe into timber? How often did the darkness break your sleep? What were the things Bridget and the children didn't need to know. The things you only shared with old comrades, those memories of past injustices, never forgotten, and figures fit to be cursed when the grog loosened your tongue enough. How often did you fall in the dark place? And how long did it take to crawl back out of that hole? There was a daughter born in 1864, and no record of her after that. All I have is an initial F, Momar. If I was to lay a bet, I'd say you named her Frances. The family tended to have its favourite saints. How long did your infant daughter live? How long did you grieve? I suppose it never stopped, that melancholic bass note through the thick of life. But there was life, with all its drama and sex, and one final conception when you and Cornelius were both 41. You named her for your own saint, little Bridget. A family of 5 with one child lost in infancy. The first chapter of our colonial family.